Generally, when I head out on a kayak camp, I'm stocked up pretty good. I take more gear than I normally need because I don't have to carry it, the kayak does. That's not the case today. Today I'm doing the opposite. Minimal gear, no tent, no food. Really, wherever we stop and pitch camp is where we'll be for the next 2 nights, as moving camp would just be too much energy. And energy is calories, and that's something we don't want to be expending all that much of if we can't replenish those calories. I'm choosing this location up under the ponderosas because it's the only greenery that's left on the trees, so every little helps when it comes to the rain, even if it is just a little. And rains are coming. Wow, that's dark. Ah, it's raining now actually. No, the ponderosas do help. Fuck. So the messed up thing is, it wasn't supposed to rain today. We always come prepared. I still got my waterproofs, so always go prepared. But yeah, shelter wise, there is no shelter. No tarp, no tent, no nothing. I've got a kayak. So while we wait for the rain to stop, I'll run you through the gear that I do have. Obviously, got a little lantern. A bag of cordage, because I always like to take additional cordage when it comes to the kayak. I've got a cook set with coffees and some water. I've got a bottle of water. Coffees, you've got to give me something. Like, food, okay, fine. Coffees, I can't go without the coffees. Got this little folding mat. Just gives me somewhere to sit. Obviously everywhere's wet, damp right now. Somewhere to sit, somewhere to lay down. A pair of gloves. Got a bandana. With my Leatherman and a magnesium block and ferro rod. Got a fishing rod, and lastly, first aid kit. That's our kit. Sun's trying to come out, tide has turned, which means we got about 5 hours till low tide, and then 6 hours till high tide. But the water will be up high enough before high tide that we'll actually be able to get a line in then. So now I'm going to focus on sorting out some kind of shelter and gathering firewood. So here's my thought process. So what we have here is a dual shelter as such, right? Lean-to right now, we can have a fire under here, relatively low one, but we can have a fire under here and get that heat reflecting back onto us, and then throughout the evening we can pull this down, create this kind of A-frame little shelter with the kayak and the reflector and the emergency blanket, and that will continue to reflect our body heat back to us. I'm not saying it's going to be a comfortable night, but I am saying that's my thought process. Got one thing. Oh, that's better. The lone crab apple. This may just be our dinner tonight. Wow. That's good. Whoa. It's sour. Not going to be long as the sun starts going down, leading us into a cold winter's night. Shame it didn't have a bit more meat on it. There are other ones around here, but they're on the floor. That one looks alright. Doesn't look like there's any holes in it. Nothing's been burrowing in it. Let's seed out. There goes the geese. Because I'd rather be eating crab apples than these. I had no idea what they are. I've tried to do some research, but it's just way too risky. There's so many kind of similar ones, and when it comes up with the red circle and the skull and crossbones in the middle, I'll stick with my crab apples. Not that much of a fan of mushrooms anyway. Just had a deer walk across going to the woods. Mother's there, just in the grass. There she goes. Nice. Fire's burning well. We're going to build that up a bit before I get my pot of water on there and make a coffee. First one of the day. That will be a treat. And the reflector's working well. I can feel the heat bouncing off the back of my hand there. Crazy good, cheap pieces of kit are these emergency blankets. You should always carry one in your first aid kit, or even throw one in your pack, whatever. But yeah, for the money, excellent pieces of kit. Always have one. The darkness isn't much of a companion, and the morning is a long wait. The process: gather firewood, apply, repeat. We got water. Well, it's a lovely night for it. No, I was coming back from a kayak camp once, and as I got back to shore, some guy said to me, "Did you catch anything?" And I said, "No, I ain't been fishing." I said, "I ain't never caught fish in my life. Never been fishing." He says, "You don't go fishing?" I said, "No, I don't know how." And he said, "Well, you just put a rod and a line in the water and then catch the fish." Oh, clearly not. Clearly not. So no bites tonight, but I was out there for a while also, but it is what it is. To be honest, we got all day tomorrow to do it. I mean, we got to catch something, right? You would think pretty much all day we have to catch something. There will be a point where I'm going to take a walk around and see what there is to eat in nature's grocery store, but yeah, gonna want to catch a fish tomorrow. I'm not all that hungry right now. I am hungry, not all that hungry. So yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Sleep comes few and far between, and with the appearance of the sun, the night leaves me with aches. My shelter didn't stay in A-frame for all that long, to be honest. For much of the night, I reverted back to the lean-to, got the fire going again, and just stayed warm that way. I prepped the kayak ready to go because I want to be fishing off the kayak rather than from the shore. I don't know why. I feel a little more confident in it that way. Who knows? Seen a fish over there, just in the, not quite the middle of the river, but almost. Let's whack over there. So apparently there's some wild trout in here, and I did a little research, and I'm supposedly using the law that wild trouts like, but it's a waiting game, and I'm getting hungry. Decided to try my luck offshore again. It's getting a little breezy in the middle of that river, so I'm cooling down quickly, and I'm having to fight the tide. The tide's beginning to go out, so thought we'd give that a break for a moment. Trying from land, nothing so far, not even a bite. Don't talk to me about fishing. That 2-minute clip you saw right there equated to about 3.5 hours on the water, out the water, just standing around trying to catch a fish, okay? 2.5 hours, 2-minute clip. I got nothing. So the tide is turning now, as is the sun. It's not going to be long till it gets dark, so gonna prep for a long night. So while I'm out here gathering firewood, also keeping my eyes open for any wild edibles, and it's sparse, like real sparse. There's plenty of holly, plenty of butcher's broom and mushrooms, but yeah, we're talking sparse here. Butcher's broom, you know, it's mainly used for medicinal purposes. The berries are toxic, and the young stems can be cooked similar like to asparagus. I believe I'm coming across some pale spore mushrooms, and they are generally considered edible. Generally, I don't trust it. Home sweet home. Sun's just going down now. Goodbye, sun. Thank you for leaving me in the dark for the next 15 hours. Fun. Didn't show you guys how I started a fire yesterday, and I didn't start it with the magnesium block because I was feeling a little lazy. So you know, because you use a magnesium block, you're going to need other materials, and then you need to process those materials, and then you need to just do all that. So I was thinking to myself, what do I have on me that I could possibly use? Just right there, makeshift fire starter. And what I came up with was this. I went and got the first aid kit, and pulled out some Dr. Boat. I looked on the back of it and saw that lovely little sign right there, that lovely little logo, extremely flammable. And I was like, this could be an easy fire. Plop a blob on, a blob or a glob. There you go. And that blob that I put on there, that would burn for a good minute. So there's no rushing, there's no quick, oh no, it's gone out. No, it's just gonna burn, and it burns really well. Coffee and crab apples. Everything a growing boy needs. Winter, long, dark, wet and cold. It's no wonder our ancestors stored spring and summer harvests to see out the winter. Can understand why some animals even hibernate. Winter. It's fucking hard. Even harder when you don't know how to fish. Now I expect it to be cold. I did that. And that's why I have my waterproofs on right now, because waterproofs aren't all that extremely breathable, and so they hold in heat that much better, right? Right, I'm losing my train of thought where I haven't eaten. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning. So I expected to be cold, I expected to be hungry, but I also expected to catch a fish. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, huh? So yeah, got about an hour and a half till sunrise. But yeah, let's just go. Let's go.